Welcome to week 5. We are starting off with a pre-workout cold plunge. Woo! My sweet spot is 3 minutes, and we're just about finishing up, so I'm gonna hop on out of here, but woo, we're gonna chat. My goodness. Always warm the body up after the cold plunge. We're gonna chat about doing this pre-workout, post-workout. There's a lot of controversy around cold plunges and whether they decrease your gains. So out of all the research I've done, the most beneficial time to do a cold plunge to help aid in recovery, to help with your workout and hypertrophy is going to be 1, on rest days, or 2, pre-workout. So you don't want to cold plunge post-workout because it is actually going to blunt the blood flow to your muscles. So when we're training, our muscles become inflamed, and that inflammation is a necessary part of the healing process. I know my robe is super cute. I stole it from my husband. So you actually, if your goal is hypertrophy, aka muscle growth, you do not want to cold plunge after your training session. If you do it on the same day as the training session, the goal timeline would be at least 4 to 6 hours after that training session to cold plunge. If you are doing more like endurance training or cardio, then yes, a cold plunge immediately after that workout would actually aid in recovery and help prevent inflammation where you don't want it. So for me, I cold plunge. 3 minutes is my sweet spot. Pre-workout, what it does is it does decrease inflammation. It also insanely increases your alertness and dopamine levels. So if you're ever exhausted and tired and don't want to train, the best pre-workout, hop in some ice water and you'll be all amped up and ready to work out. So I haven't done it in a while. My body feels pretty invigorated, not gonna lie. And now we're gonna go train some quads and glutes. So let's go. All right, I'm still freezing. So we're gonna make sure we get a good warm up in. That's the other important thing. If you cold plunge before your workout, make sure you get your blood flowing. So week 5, Strong Mom Club Challenge. Personally, I am down another pound again. Whoop, whoop. So I'm hovering right around 117, which is cool. I have been incredibly consistent. My weight still will fluctuate though, sometimes like 2 pounds. So you have to understand when you're dieting, those fluctuations are so normal. Even if you're not dieting, there's so many things, how much water you drank, how much you slept, if you're stressed, your digestion, sodium intake, hormone fluctuations. The list goes on and on about all the things that cause that scale to fluctuate. So what I like to do is I weigh myself every single day. Some people don't like doing this, that's fine. What I do is I weigh myself 7 days a week, and then I take the average of those 7 days and I track my average weight week by week. So that will tell you the most accurate data, because your trend line is going to kind of do this, but then over time that should naturally trend downward during weight loss. So you have to just understand those ups and downs are normal, but if you take your weekly average week by week, then that'll be your most accurate data. So we're getting warmed up, then we're gonna train some quads and glutes today. All right, exercise 1 today is the barbell hip thrust. I have this Brett Contreras hip thruster and I do love it. My second favorite hip thrust machine is the Smith machine one, where it's kind of like the Smith machine setup. Anyways, either of those are great. If you have any kind of hip thrust setup, it makes it so much easier than setting up a barbell every single time. But we're gonna chat through it and then I'm gonna hit some reps. So these are very simple yet complex exercise. I do like to do them barefoot, so I'm gonna slide my shoes off for these. because with my feet, I want to be able to push through all four corners of my feet. So pinky toe, big toe, and then on either side of your heel, that's where you want to start that movement. Again, we always go from the floor up. So you really want to make sure you're engaging, pushing through your feet, pushing up through your knees, through this posterior chain right here. And then I also kind of pretend like I'm squeezing a block. I mean, if you need to actually put a block in between your adductors, you can. But you want to also activate the adductors. So you're squeezing, you're pushing up, but kind of squeezing into. Okay, now with your upper body, eyes look forward. When you thrust up, they're going to look towards the top corner of the ceiling. So your gaze is kind of just going forward and up like this. You don't want to look all the way up because that's going to extend your neck. And you don't want to tuck too far down either. And then I also think, to keep my spine straight, sternum to belly button. And this line right here, we want to keep straight and up, like you're pulling your sternum down toward your belly button and forward. So now I'm going to hit a set so we can kind of see what this looks like. I also have bands right here. I like having these on because it adds a little extra resistance at the top and makes it just a little bit harder where we have that nice squeeze. Hip thrusts too are a great exercise. You can add different variations. You can hit the ground, go all the way up, full rep range. You can do what's called a cast glute bridge, which is the top fourth movement of the hip thrust. So you're going down fourth of the way. You could go down even like halfway and back up. You can do pulses. You can do different kind of tempo sets. So a lot of times, if you are training for like bikini or wellness bodybuilding, you're gonna be doing hip thrusts multiple times a week, but they might be just different variations to kind of hit that muscle group differently. All right, and this is a big compound movement. So rest at least 90 seconds to like 2 minutes in between sets on these. If you really want those ATP levels to restore, and catch your breath so you can give full effort. All right, exercise 2, we're doing a lengthen. So the hip thrust was a shorten glute exercise, which means most of that tension is going to be when the glutes are in that shortened squeeze position. We're gonna do Bulgarian split squats, everybody's favorite, which is a lengthened glute exercise. So, of course, these are single leg as well. I'm gonna show you 2 different setups for these. The traditional setup is off of a bench. I do like to do these barefoot again as well, but the best way to set up, so I'm gonna grab some dumbbells. We'll start with 20s here. The best way to set up is to get your foot and your ankle on here first. I like to have my toes flat against it and scoot back and then stand up. And you can kind of sit like this. Get your foot out a little bit further straightened and then put all your weight here. That way you're not doing this kind of deal and getting all wobbly. So I like to start back, reach forward, stand on that front leg. So upper body, we're gonna slightly hinge forward. Keep that spine straight, but when we're going down and back up, you wanna think escalator rather than elevator. So neither is incorrect, but if you're going down and up the escalator at a diagonal, it's gonna put a little more engagement from the glutes. If you're going straight up and down the elevator, it's going to be more quad focused. So we are doing quads and glutes today. There is no wrong way to do it. Typically, in general, I am always trying to target more glutes than quads with my training for my physique. So I am gonna do a slight hinge forward upper body. We're going down the escalator till we reach about 90 degrees in the knee. And as always, push through this foot to drive back up. Inhale slow on the eccentric and exhale back to top. We're gonna hit 10 on the right leg, and then we're gonna rest for about 30 to 60 seconds, and we're gonna hit 10 on the left. If your gym has a split squat sponge setup, sometimes these are on an individual little setup, like something like this. Ours is on the back of our decline bench. This is actually my favorite way to do any kind of split squat, because you can set your ankle up on here and it kind of rolls with your ankles. So if you have something like this, definitely try this for your split squats. You'll like it a lot better. Another tip for single leg exercises and single arm exercises is to alternate which side you start on. So last time I started on my right leg, rest, finish on my left. This time I'm gonna start my set on my left leg. That way you're always just equaling out the legs and you're not always starting with one dominant side, so that you don't create any muscle imbalances. Leg extensions, this is a strict quad movement. I like to put a pad on the back here because I'm short. That helps me reach better. So we're just gonna crawl up in here. All you need to do is put the pad up against your knees, flex your feet, hinge from the top of your knees, like the bottom of your quads right here. Exhale. Inhale and lower. It's that simple. Just gonna get some nice juicy quads. I usually go for about 10 to 12 reps. If I'm really burning it out, we'll hit 15. But we're gonna do, I usually do 3 to 4 sets of about 10 to 15 reps and rest for 60 seconds in between. For leg extensions at home, if you do not have a leg extension machine, you can do this with a dumbbell. It's a little tricky. You can't really go quite as heavy, but it gets the job done. So if you just put the dumbbell in between your feet, if you can set up something high enough where you can get full extension with your legs, you're just going to mimic the same motion. So sometimes we just got to get a little bit creative, but we're still working these quads and it gets the job done. right, putting our shoes on for this one because we're gonna do a Smith machine reverse frog pump. This is pretty much just a glute isolation exercise. Okay, so for these, we wanna set the bench up just in the middle of the rack because we're gonna lay on it, facing down, legs on either side, pushed up against the Smith, so just make sure you're somewhat even on the bar. We're gonna lower as far down as you can go. Push your hips into the bench and tuck this tailbone under. So this is gonna make sure when you're pushing up, we're not arching like this. We really want these hips tucked under. As you push up, you're pushing down, down, down. So you're just gonna push up, exhale, as high as you can go, squeeze, and control that lowering motion. Typically, I like to hit these for a little bit higher reps, like 15. You can put your hands on the ground if that helps you kind of support and stabilize. You can put your hands on your hips. Really do whatever feels best for you. The biggest thing here is to make sure we're not pushing and arching because that's gonna put strain on your lower back. So we wanna keep this all in the glutes right here. Another thing on these is I do like to angle my toes outwards just a little bit, just to kind of hit a little bit more of this abductor right here. Will light your glutes up. Oh man. Whew. It hurts so good. Booty work, cable abductions. So we are working the outer edge of the glutes and hips. The motion is gonna look like this. It's gonna be a single leg exercise. Working leg is gonna go behind this front foot and toes are going to be turned in just a little bit. So you're pushing kind of through your Achilles in the back of your heel, driving straight out until this hip is all the way flexed and then slowly lower back in, keeping that tension all right here. So the biggest thing is not to be like leaning forward or hinging. You kind of just want to stay nice and upright and just keep this small range of motion right here, and you're going to feel it in this upper outer glute. Whew. Whew. Solid leg day, really can be like 5 exercises, even 4 exercises if you're going like really heavy. A couple compound movements, a few accessory movements in there, and that's a solid leg day, you guys. I used to do like 8 exercises when I first started, and it's really not necessary. If you're doing quality reps, quality load, quality rep ranges, 5 exercises is a really good range to be in. All right, thanks for joining today's workout. We hit some quads, some glutes, Next time, go ahead and try out that cold plunge. If you can make it through the first 30 seconds, you can make it the full 3 minutes, I promise. So stay tuned for next week. It's gonna be week 6 and we are halfway there already. So time is flying. It's gonna be fun. Thanks again. See you next time.